Thomas and Warrica, we need to dive into the nuanced histories and tensions that fuel these ongoing battles. The St. Thomas conflict originated from a bitter feud between brothers over an inherited parcel of land. Initially, this land was valuable and had sentimental worth, but as disputes grew over its division, the brothers sought help from the wizards on Henderson Ave Hill. These wizards, powerful and historically respected mediators, offered a settlement that would have preserved the family ties and ensured that each party received fair value. However, the brothers' pride and distrust led them to reject this mystical guidance, responding with open insults. Angered, the wizards cursed the land, transforming it into a riverbed. Surprisingly, this curse became a blessing for the broader community, creating a source of sustenance through fishing and attracting tourism. The area around the river has since flourished, but the underlying resentment and rivalry between the brothers' descendants continue to provoke animosity and small-scale disputes, keeping the tension alive. Warrica's landscape is even darker. It's a gathering place for a range of criminals, from petty thieves to hardened felons, and remains notorious for its ties to voodoo, spells, and supernatural occurrences. The area is steeped in mystery, with spells cast by past practitioners that still linger in its dense atmosphere, making it a magnet for sinister activity. Attempts to restore order are regularly undermined by the chaotic mix of violence and paranormal influences. Some whisper that an ancient curse lies over Warrica, perhaps cast by long-forgotten conjurers, drawing trouble to its borders. Yet, without clear understanding, it has become a haven for crime, from organized plans by seasoned criminals to impromptu confrontations. Resolving the issues here will demand both criminal and supernatural expertise. Step 1. Gathering a specialized task force. This complex issue calls for a coalition of experienced leaders and specialists from different backgrounds. First, we have John O.C. Woogum, also known as Duppy Mongoose. Known for his sharp instincts in spiritual matters, Woogum will lead the paranormal investigation and act as an intermediary with the wizards and spirits involved in both St. Thomas and Warrica. Next is Inspector Hemo. As a seasoned detective with experience in dealing with supernatural beliefs, Hemo is well suited to manage the criminal side of the investigation. His role will be to gather intelligence on Warrica's criminal networks and establish a crackdown on criminal activities. Then there's Carmen the Queen. Skilled in leadership and battle, Carmen will organize the fighters to maintain security during the investigation and ensure safe conditions for investigators to operate in both Warrica and St. Thomas. Lucan the fireman and Bobby the Sixth Killer are both known for their toughness and courage, qualities essential for ensuring that both sides abide by any agreements reached. They'll assist with crowd control and neutralize any immediate threats posed by rogue elements in the conflict zones. Sita, the serious one, with his focused disposition, will be instrumental in managing negotiations and ensuring that terms are respected, particularly by the feuding families in St. Thomas. The investigation teams will include criminal investigators to gather intelligence on the syndicates in Warrica, map out crime patterns, and arrest key figures fueling criminal operations. Paranormal investigators, experienced in identifying and neutralizing supernatural forces, will investigate the mystical roots of the Warrica Hill phenomenon. Finally, mediators and spiritual advisors will play a crucial role. The Henderson Ave wizards will be key in dispelling or revising any spells they cast, particularly the riverbed spell, if adjustments are required for peace. Psychologists and family counselors will address the generational feud in St. Thomas, providing long-term therapy options to heal the wounds between the brothers' descendants. Step 2. A full investigation in Warrica. The task force's initial goal will be to uncover the root cause of Warrica's attraction to criminal and paranormal forces. The paranormal investigators, led by John O.C. Woogum, will inspect Warrica Hill's mystical aspects. With Woogum's experience and the investigators' abilities, they will attempt to identify any latent curses or spiritual anomalies that could be exacerbating the crime rate. Meanwhile, criminal investigators under Inspector Hemo will work to map out the criminal network, focusing on uncovering crime lords and syndicate leaders. The team will use surveillance and informants to compile a list of suspects. Once intelligence is sufficient, Woogum and Hemo will carry out a raid on Warrica to dismantle criminal elements. Step 3. Diplomatic mediation and curses revisited in St. Thomas. With the Henderson Ave wizards' involvement, the riverbed curse could be lifted or modified, though such a request will likely require an act of humility and respect from the feuding families. Through Carmen, the Queen, and Sita, the wizards will propose a peaceful resolution, a public act of forgiveness and unity by both families aimed at ending their dispute once and for all. This symbolic gesture would need to be witnessed by key community figures to solidify the truce. A land sharing or community investment proposal could replace the original family feud. By converting their land rights into community investments or shared assets, perhaps in the tourism industry, the families could transform their legacy into one of unity, benefiting not only their descendants, but the entire region. Step 4. Introducing community programs. Both areas will benefit from programs focused on education, vocational training, and community building, especially for the youth who might be drawn to Warrica's allure of crime. Establishing these programs could deter future generations from falling into the same cycles of violence and rivalry. First, youth empowerment centers to provide skills training, education, and job opportunities. Second, community patrols and local law enforcement, reinforcing local policing with officers trained in conflict resolution and cultural sensitivity. Third, supervised tourism development. By converting the riverbed and certain areas of Warrica into tourist-friendly zones, the region can open itself to new sources of income while ensuring public safety. Step 5. A lasting agreement and supervision. A council led by figures like John O.C. Woogum, Inspector Hemo, and the Henderson Ave Wizards would meet quarterly with representatives from St. Thomas and Warwick. This council would oversee the region's gradual return to peace and address any issues that may arise. Conclusion. By tackling both the criminal and paranormal roots of Warwick's chaos and the historical feud in St. Thomas, the task force can guide both regions toward lasting peace. The plan combines discipline with diplomacy, reinforcing security while nurturing economic growth, ultimately breaking the cycle of discord.